In the aftermath of a devastating war between man and machine, all that is left is a post-apocalyptic world where all humans are gone. The movie opens up with a scientist putting together a rag doll while lamenting about the imminent end of the world. He finishes up the rag doll by writing a single digit on its back, 9. 9 hanging by a frayed rope on its last thread. Suddenly the rope snaps, he tumbles to the floor and opens his eyes for the very first time. 9 stumbles on and picks up a strange device he seems drawn to. Then he looks around and notices the room he came to life in is a mess and devoid of life. 9 opens a window and sees the entire city before him is in ruins. He tries to say something but finds out that he can't speak. 9 leaves the first room and walks through the desolate city until he hears a sound and sees a light slowly approaching. Not knowing what to expect, 9 hides behind some rubble, picks up a metal bar and waits. When the light gets too close, 9 swings his bar and it connects with a creature that looks exactly like him. The other ragdoll has the number 2 written on his back. He appears old, wearing a magnifying glass in front of his eyes and a candle holder as headgear. 2 gasps at the sight of 9, who starts to run away until he cries out, "Wait, I am a friend." 9 stops and returns to help 2, still on the floor. 2 continues to stare at 9, marveling at his design. When he notices that 9 can't speak, 2 leads 9 to a discarded doll at the side of the road. 2 begins to search for something there. He finds the doll's voice box and fixes the voice box into 9's chest. After some adjustments, 9 finally speaks and says, "Friend." During the process, 2 notices something inside 9 and pulls out the strange device. It is hemispherical with 3 symbols and is later revealed to be the talisman. A loud sound rings out nearby and 2 tells 9 to hide inside a broken can while he stands guard. Armed with a spear, 9 waits until a large beast appears and attacks him. When the beast notices the talisman, it snatches it before turning its attention to 9. While reaching for 9 with its claws inches away, 2 distracts the beast. The beast turns and grabs 2. This allows 9 to find another hiding place and evade capture. Unable to find 9, the beast departs. Now damaged with a torn arm, 9 faints, and his unconscious body is soon discovered by another ragdoll named 5. 9 wakes up and sees 5 fixing him up in what looks to be a hideout, and he notices that his arm is all better. Before the 2 have time to discuss, an elderly ragdoll called 1 enters and angrily scolds 5 for leading the beast to them. A larger ragdoll named 8 also enters and appears to be 1's lackey. Higher up, 9 discovers that they are inside a half-destroyed church. There 1 begins to narrate the story of how he and the other ragdolls came to be, as he knows it. A flashback shows 1 waking up for the first time in the midst of a raging war between man and machine. As the ragdolls run for their lives to take shelter and escape the war, 5 loses his eye and is saved by 2. In the nick of time, the ragdolls found a place to hide, and while they remained there, the war raged on. Eventually, the machines won the war. They deployed poisonous gas bombs that ended all life on Earth. All that remained were ruins, the ragdolls, and the beast. Back in the present, a special register kept by 1 shows 9 that since the time of the war, 3, 4, 7 and now 2 have been lost, and there was nothing that they could do about it. 1 orders 5 and 9 to go to the watchtower, and in another room, 6, who appears to be mentally ill, repeatedly draws the image of the talisman on paper. In the watchtower, 5 and 9 look through a telescope and see a large factory, which 9 recognizes as the place the beast dragged 2 to. At first, 5 is reluctant to go rescue 2, as 9 suggests. However, when 9 argues that 2 would have tried to save him if the roles were reversed, 5 agrees and picks up a map. Making their way to the factory, the 2 rag dolls find 2's candle holder headgear and his spear, and 5 wonders why 2 was out there alone. A sandstorm rolls in and blows away their map, but 5 and 9 continue, knowing they can't turn back. When the sandstorm dies down, they notice the beast's footprints and follow it into a tunnel. Needing some light, they take a light bulb from a wrecked car's headlights, and 9 fashions a torch staff with 2's spear. 5 notes that 2 would have liked what 9 made. In the distance, something with a beak finds 5's map. 5 and 9 arrive at the factory, and after walking for a while, they see a cage and discover 2 in it. At first, it seems he is dead, but slowly he comes to and is happy they came to rescue him. The celebration is cut short when the 3 ragdolls hear a sound nearby. 9 takes a look and finds out that the beast is trying to insert the talisman into a socket. The beast notices 9 and attacks him. At that moment, the creature with beaks swoops in and beheads the beast. The creature is revealed to be 7, who 2 and 5 thought was dead all the while. They introduce her to 9, and in the middle of their happy reunion, 9 picks up the talisman and inserts it into the socket. 2 notices what 9 is trying to do too late and tries to stop him, but the talisman begins to glow. It shoots out a bright light which hits 2 in the face and sucks away his life force. 2 falls to the ground in a lifeless heap, and the others take off running with no time to mourn him. They all run from a machine awakened by the talisman, a large round creature with a bright red eye and sharp-looking limbs protruding from it. The ragdolls escape using 5's grappling gun, which 7 hooked to a switch. As they swing towards safety, their combined weight moves the switch, which causes 7 to lose her grip. 5 and 9 fall on a conveyor belt, while 7 manages to grab onto a ledge. Activated by the switch, the conveyor belt starts to move with 5 and 9 on it. They both fall to the floor as the machine moves towards 7, about to attack her, but 5 and 9 distract the machine and it chases them instead. They are able to hide from the machine and reconnect with 7 in the tunnel. The machine tries to chase them inside the tunnel but is too large, so the 3 ragdolls escape. Safe outside the factory, 5 is sad about 2's death, but 7 is furious at 9 for causing the whole incident with the talisman. She, however, agrees that they need answers and tells them to follow her. Meanwhile, the machine back at the factory begins to create a new beast. 7 leads 5 and 9 to a library filled with books and statues. She calls out and twin ragdolls with hoods appear 3 and 4. Although mute, they look over 9 with curiosity and analyze him with their eyes as it flashes continuously. 7 asks the twins for help and tells them that they woke up something dangerous. 9 corrects 7, telling them it was he who woke it up, and the twins use their eyes to project a video showing them what they had woken, the machine. Turns out that under orders, the same scientist who created them made the machine and named it the Brain. The machine could create its own machines, and a dictator wanted it for his war. After he used the brain to turn the tide of his war, the machine also turned against humanity. It destroyed the world, but for some reason it fell asleep until 9 woke it up. 9 draws the 3 shapes that were inscribed on the talisman, and 5 recognizes the shapes as what 6 continuously draws. 9 requests to see him. 7, however, refuses to return to the church because she doesn't like 1.5, and 9 return to the church to see 6, but get caught by 8. 1 accuses the pair of dooming them all, but 9 asks him who sent 2 out alone to get caught, and 1 doesn't deny he did. 6 sees the shapes drawn by 9 and calls it the source, but before 9 can ask more about it, 1 orders that the 2 be locked up. 9 calls 1 a coward, but he replies that he would do whatever it takes to keep them safe. Moments later, the church is attacked by the Brain's new beast, a pterodactyl-like creature with wings and beaks. The ragdolls flee to safety as the beast attacks and lights the church on fire. Realizing that the other ragdolls are in danger, 7 jumps in, trying to attack the beast from behind, but is unsuccessful. She tries again, but the beast shoots her leg and begins dragging her closer. 9 grabs her and stabs the beast's wing with 7's spear, stopping their movement. 8 arrives to cut the cable, pulling 7, which causes them to start falling, but they quickly hold on. 1 loses his balance, but 9 grabs onto him. 1 stops falling, but the beast reaches out and holds onto his cape with its beak. 9 yells at 1 to remove his cape, which he reluctantly does. This sends the beast falling to its destruction. Now homeless, the ragdolls leave for the library to live with 3 and 4. Meanwhile, a drone takes the remains of the beast back to the Brain. It becomes angry when it sees the remains, but soon after, it focuses on 2's body, which is still among the factory's rubble. Back in the library, 8 is made the lookout, and while the remaining ragdolls go over the talisman's symbol drawings, 1 becomes upset, calling it dark science. 9 accuses him of trying to kill 2, and 1 admits that 2 was sacrificed because he was old and weak. In a rage, 7 jumps on 1 and puts a knife to his throat, but 9 talks her out of it, and she walks off. Searching for answers, 9 decides to return to the first room, where he first woke up. Outside, 8 hears something and looks around. He sees 2 rise up with his eyes lighting up, and 8 becomes hypnotized. In another room, 1, startled by a sound, sees 2 floating toward him. Like 8, he becomes hypnotized by 2's flashing eyes. It becomes known that 2's body is being used as a distracting puppet by a new snake-like beast. The beast picks up 1 and begins to tie him up with 8 already tied up and stuffed inside it. 5 and 9 rush in, trying to rescue 1, and the beast using 2 tries to hypnotize them, but 9 averts his eyes. 5, however, becomes hypnotized and is stuck in place. Lucky for the group, 7 comes in then and stops the hypnotic flashes by impaling 2's body into a wall with her spear. She cuts off 2 from the beast, but it grabs hold of her. 5 wakes up and shoots the beast in the eyes, causing it to retreat with 7 and 8. 1 is safe and 9 tells him that the snake beast has taken 7 and 8, so they should rescue them. But 1 refuses. After persuading 1, they perform funeral rites for 2's body and head off toward the factory. When they get there, 9 goes in alone and tells 5 that if he doesn't return, he should destroy the factory. Inside, 9 sees the beast hand over 8 to the brain. The machine immediately drains the ragdoll's life force, making itself more powerful. Before the beast can hand over 7, 9 draws its attention, making it place 7 back inside its body. The beast goes after 9, lunges at what he thinks is a ragdoll, and begins tying him up. Unknown to the beast, what he thinks is 9 is actually a trap that catches the beast in moving cogs. Being yanked by the cogs, 9 is able to slash at the body of the beast, freeing 7 and leaving it to be crushed to death. Outside, 1 and 5 prepare to push a barrel of fuel down the tunnel into the factory. 1 wants to get it done immediately, but 5 fights to wait for 9. Both are noticed by a drone, which they shoot at using 5's grappling gun. They begin pulling the drone down, while inside, 7 and 9 are spotted by the brain. While being chased by mechanical spiders from the brain, 1 and 5 notice the 2. They then light the barrel and send it down the tunnel. The barrel goes down, narrowly missing 7 and 9. Moments later, the factory erupts in flames and leaves the ragdolls safe. Thinking they had killed the brain, the ragdolls began to celebrate with a record player. As 5 chases a record, he notices that the brain is still alive. It chases him up the hill and 9 tries to run to 5's rescue, but is held back by 1. The brain grabs 5 and sucks away his life force. As they run through a worn-out bridge from the brain, 6 notices that it was the souls of the dead ragdolls that were taken. The brain chases after the ragdolls and climbs the bridge as well, but the structure cannot support its weight. The bridge gives out under the brain, and the ragdolls take the opportunity to kill it. 9 tries to stop them, now knowing that the dead ragdoll's souls are trapped inside the brain. The brain falls but manages to grab onto 6. He cries out that they should go to the first room before getting his soul sucked away. While the others are more intent on destroying the brain, 9 returns to the first room alone. There he finds everything and a message from the scientist, their creator. Knowing how to turn off the brain permanently, he returns to the ragdolls who were busy trying to kill the brain. 9 informs them that they have to remove the talisman from the brain, which he tries to do. After a huge explosion, 9 faces the brain, but before he is drained, 1 takes his place and sacrifices himself. Using the opportunity, 9 grabs the talisman from the brain. 9 presses the symbols in the sequence he has learned, and the brain screams as the souls are transferred into the talisman and explodes. The remaining ragdolls light a fire and set 5 positions for their dead friends, each with their numbers, and 9 presses a sequence on the talisman. One after the other, their souls are released before rising together into the sky. The green light from the souls penetrates the sky, and rain begins to fall for the first time in ages. A close-up reveals tiny green microorganisms, which indicates that life will flourish in the world again. Subscribe for more video like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like and comment. Thank you.